For Gaid Míle Fáilte. Good evening and welcome to the 2021 Untitled Irish Book Awards ceremony. My name is Evelyn O'Rourke and I am delighted to be your host for tonight. Well, you know, it's not quite the black tie bash that we were all looking forward to. But you know what, this evening we will be bringing you a combination of wonderful in-person and video link presentations. And I must say it's lovely to have some of our favourite authors here. And I'll be talking to them about their books as the evening progresses. Now, in a few minutes, we will start the awards ceremony, revealing the winners as voted for by you, the voting public and the voting academy. And to all of our writers, our nominees and our winners, we thank you so much for the books which have helped us through such a difficult year. Because when optimism seemed in short supply, it was to books that we turned for consolation, and not coincidentally, humorous books, of course, enjoyed a resurgence. Notable amongst them, books from people like the great P.G. Wodehouse, who once said, "There is no surer foundation for a beautiful friendship than a mutual taste in literature." Well, that's what we're here to celebrate. And to start the evening, let me introduce you to a great friend of Irish literature and the Irish Book Awards sponsor, Unpus CEO David McRedmond.
Welcome to the Unpus Irish Book Awards. We tried everything. We tried to the very last minute to have all of us together with all of you in real life. Sadly, it's not meant to be. We're all gutted about that. But you know what? We're still really excited about the Book Awards this evening, because this year, more than any other year, has been an extraordinary year for Irish publishers and Irish writers. Each of the categories we have are the strongest lists that we've seen for many years, whether it be fiction, non-fiction, children's, whatever. We have got an extraordinary selection of books, of writers, and I'm so excited to see who the winners are. So it promises to be a great evening with great authors and great books, and I hope you all enjoy it as much as I will. And dare I say it, we look forward to seeing you in real life next year.
Thanks so much, David. And now on to the serious business of the evening, discovering which books and authors have won in 20 separate award categories. And we've more awards than ever this year, so let's get straight down to business. And the first award of the evening is the RTE Audience Choice Award. Now, 5 presenters, Joe Duffy, Ray D'Arcy, Darren Garrahy, Zainab Bolladale and Sean Rocks have each chosen to champion a book that has particularly impressed them in 2021. So 5 terrific reads formed this shortlist. And in recent weeks, RTE audiences have been voting to have their say. So here are the nominations.
As the Smoke Clears, Zoe Holohan, Nora, Nuala O'Connor, Nanny, Ma and Me, Jade Jordan, Dominique Jordan and Kathleen Jordan. Your One Wild and Precious Life, Maureen Gaffney. Open Hearted, Anne Ingle.
So presenting the award this evening is RTE Group Head of Arts and Culture, Anne-Marie Power. You're very welcome, Anne-Marie. You might tell us who the winner is.
Okay, so the winner of the RTE Audience Choice Award is Your One Wild and Precious Life by Maureen Gaffney.
Oh, excellent. Maureen, come in and join us here. Winner of the RTE Choice Award. Congratulations.
Well, I'm a bit overwhelmed, actually.
And there it is. You can actually pick it up now. There's actually your award there.
Yeah, well,
see it there. That's the book. Do you mind the book? There you go. You get to bring that home with you now. Isn't it wonderful?
No, it's fabulous. I mean, I'm really delighted, and thank you to everybody who voted for me. I mean, I'm really thrilled.
And I just wanted to ask you about that. I mean, the response to this book has been so enthusiastic from readers. It must have been a wonderful affirmation, I suppose, for your work.
It was, because when you're writing a book, it's quite a solitary experience, and certainly, you know, I remember some days feeling, you know, this is terrific, you know, it's really good. And then other days thinking, this is absolute junk, you know.
And this award has great significance because it's the kind of the listeners, the viewers, the readers themselves have chosen it through the presenters. So it really means something special, doesn't it?
That's right, yeah. And I mean, there's been a great campaign over the last couple of weeks. And Darren, who championed your book, but all the...
She was so enthusiastic about it, wasn't she?
And it's funny, and I've read the book myself, like separately, just from this, and it's just a fantastic read, you know. And I think what Darren was saying is it really applies to her. I think she's in the early adulthood stage, the rush hour of life, I think you describe it as, and she really identified with that. So I think whatever age you are, you're going to identify. It's a really wise book.
What do you think it is about the book that has really chimed with readers in the last year or two?
Well, I think that an awful lot of us, particularly during these interminable lockdowns, you know, where we walk the legs off ourselves, you know, I think an awful lot of us were thinking about, at a kind of an unconscious level, I think we were all conscious of the threat to our health and to the people, you know, the lives of the people that we cared about. And inevitably, that makes you think about your own life and the way you're living it. And I think a lot of promises were made to yourself, you know, about like the things you were going to change. I think a lot of people sort of thought like, you know, after this, if I come out safe and well, you know, and my family do and my friends do, you know, I'm really going to think about what's important in life. And I think that it's that feeling that your life is always in progress, you know, that every day you wake up, there's a new opportunity. I think that's what keeps us going, and particularly what's kept us going in these awful 2 years.
Well, you as the expert on all this, it's a real joy for me to know that you're having a new experience today with your award.
There you go.
You're the award-winning author. Maureen Gaffney. Thank you so much.
I have to get used to that now.
Yes, oh, it's a burden, but you'll be fine. This evening, we celebrate 6 talented debutante authors who've successfully brought their first book to the world under difficult circumstances. Now, just one will be announced as the winner, but we, of course, congratulate all 6. Presenting the Sunday Independent Newcomer of the Year award is literary editor Madeleine Keane. But first, let's take a look at the nominations.
Sunday Independent Newcomer of the Year. A Crooked Tree, Una Mannion. Boys Don't Cry, Fiona Scarlett. Dinner Party, A Tragedy, Sarah Gilmartin. Diving for Pearls, Jamie O'Connell. Holding Her Breath, Emer Ryan. Snowflake, Louise Neelan. Welcome, Madeleine. Your winner, please.
I'm always proud to support new Irish writing. This year I'm delighted to present the Sunday Independent Newcomer of the Year award to Louise Neelan for Snowflake.
And Louise is with us. Louise, please come and join us and claim your wonderful award here beside you. It's a lovely award to win, isn't it? Newcomer of the Year, when you look at the other nominees on the list.
Oh my God, it's an absolute pleasure. I can't tell you how thrilled I am. And even to be shortlisted amongst authors that I absolutely fangirl over and love. It's a dream come true.
Would you see that award there? That's all yours now. You really won it. And you really owed it. Yeah, Mammy will love it. Let's talk about the book itself, because this main character, Debbie, who comes up to Dublin, you know, comes to Trinity College, there is something about her that has really resonated with readers. They've really taken Debbie to their hearts. What do you think it is about Debbie that, you know, it just worked with readers, that they identified with her?
Well, Debbie, like, she started off as kind of like an avatar of my 18-year-old self, who was quite awkward and sensitive and a bit of a fish out of water coming from the countryside to Dublin. And I suppose where Debbie really took off for me is when she started doing stuff that I wouldn't do. Okay. Or she started thinking in a way that I wouldn't. And I kind of fell in love with her then. And she became kind of like nearly like a sister to me.
But what I want to talk to you really about was the title, because Snowflake, you know, is seen as maybe a slight flippant term that, you know, refers to your generation. You've chosen to embrace it, or using it ironically, or what's the kind of thinking behind using that term that so many people balk at?
It's funny, the society that we live in can be so cynical sometimes and take a word as beautiful and a concept as beautiful as snowflakes and use it as a derogatory term. So I kind of wanted to really explore the concept of a snowflake in a creative way, and I think that's what fiction does. Well,
listen, we are going to send you off back to your book, get that finished, but in the meantime, huge congratulations on winning this award. I know what it means. It's an important award and encouragement for young writers like yourself, so we're thrilled to give you this award today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Louise. Thank you so much for joining us. Next, we come to a new award category, the Libraries Association of Ireland Author of the Year. Now, this is based on submissions from librarians and reading groups from across Ireland. And the award aims to reward the Irish author who has made the most significant contribution to the library sector in the current awards year. So let's take a look at the nominations.
Donal Ryan, Ronan Hession, Liz Nugent, Marion Keyes, John Boyne, Maggie O'Farrell.
To present their first ever award, joining us via video, the President of the Library Association of Ireland, Cathal McCauley. Cathal, tell us your winner, please.
I'm delighted to announce that the Library Association of Ireland Author of the Year award goes to Marion Keyes. Congratulations, Marion.
The Library Association of Ireland Author of the Year is a particularly lovely award to be nominated for. Thank you so much for nominating me, and it's so lovely to have won. And the other shortlisted authors, I'm so honoured to have been included with them. I really am delighted, and thank you so much to every member of the public who voted. I'm immensely grateful. Thank you.
The next award is the Bookselling Ireland Cookbook of the Year. Now, of course, during lockdown, we've been turning into real chefs, or we think we have. More time at home has meant more time to sharpen our skills in the kitchen. And whether it's sourdough, or pizza dough, or takeaways, or fakeaways, the answer to the question, what's for dinner, has become less of a chore and more of a challenge. To help you meet that challenge, of course, there have been lovely, fabulous new cookbooks, and we have 6 of them nominated for this award tonight.
Everyday Cook, Donald Skean. How to Cook, Dorina Allen. The Daily Dish rides again, 100 more Masso slimming meals for every day. Gina Daly and Carol Daly. Learn to Cook with Nevin, Nevin Maguire. Soup, Broth, Bread, Rachel Allen. Trisha's 21-day reset, Trisha Lewis.
Presenting the award tonight is Bookselling Ireland chairperson Aoife Rowntree. Aoife, you're very welcome to the event here this evening. You might tell us who the winner is.
Thanks very much, Evan. I'm delighted to be here, and we're really pleased to sponsor the award. There's so many great cookbooks out this year. So the winner of the award is Donal Skean for Everyday Cook.
Oh, Donal is with us. Donal, come on in.
Thank you very much. How are you? Thank you.
Award-winning chef Donal Skean.
I tell you, thank you for referring to me as my full new title. This is so exciting.
That's all I'm going to call you as from now on. And look, there's the book, and there's the award, even more importantly,
fantastic.
and it's all yours.
Exciting. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you both so much. Wonderful.
Listen, thinking about you, and we realised, we think you were nominated for an award back in 2010 with Good Mood Food.
Yes.
In that time, you've obviously had so many adventures, not least going to America, coming back this year with the family. This must cap off an extraordinary year for you, an extraordinary time.
It is. I mean, it really does. It's a celebration of what has gone for the last 2 years and beyond. I mean, the first award came in 2010. I think I had full jet black hair. And
even higher quiff,
and
maybe.
a bigger quiff. But no, I mean, it's been such a journey since then. And a real, there is something lovely about the Book Awards that really brings a sense of achievement to these sorts of things. And, there's so much that goes into creating a cookbook, from the photography to the recipe development. There's so many people involved. So I think for not just me, but the entire team, it's a real celebration. So thrilled.
And in terms of when you go, right, I'm going to go ahead and have a new book, tell us a little bit about what you can do to make it stand out a little bit, to make sure it's true to your style as well. It's a real challenge, isn't it?
It is a bit of a challenge, and I think it's probably what keeps me going is that trying to solve people's problems in the kitchen. And I think, everyone goes through those different phases of cooking and life. And I think, for me, I have a busy household. We have 2 young boys, and my wife and I both kind of share the cooking. So meal plans, quick cooking recipes, those are the things that we turn to. And I think with this book, we've done a lot of quick cooking recipes, but this book is a real celebration of family food, and it's a celebration of, I suppose, in the last 2 years, we need to sit down and eat together again and enjoy food around the table. So that's what Everyday Cook is all about.
Finally, sourdough. Burden or joy? Burden or joy?
Oh, I don't know. I've never successfully made, a sourdough that I'm really proud of. I actually was in with Owen Clussy from Bread 41, and he says he's convinced he can make it happen. But look, I think the nation is littered with fallen, failed sourdoughs that are sitting on people's counters. Just make a yeasted bread. It's easy, it's doable, and you'll get great results.
Listen, Donald, take you and your reward and your enthusiasm and hop on out of here. And huge congratulations on winning that award.
Thank you very much. I'm taking everything. I'll take the rest of the books as well. Listen, thanks very much.
Off you go. Thanks, Donald.
Thank
you so much.
Cheers.
Now, next up is the EASON Sportsbook of the Year in association with Ireland.IE. And this year's shortlist brings together celebrated heroes of rugby and Gaelic football, together with the bona fide RTE sports broadcasting legend. And as the title of that legend, George Hamilton's book, suggests, these are the stars for whom the nation habitually holds its breath. Here are the nominations.
Crossing the Line, Willie Anderson with Brendan Fanning. Dark Blue, Shane Carthy. Devotion, Mickey Hart with Brendan Coffey. Fight or Flight, My Life, My Choices, Keith Earls with Tommy Conlon. The Nation Holds Its Breath, George Hamilton. Unbroken, A Journey of Adversity, Mental Strength and Physical Fitness, Aidan O'Mahony.
Presenting the award tonight is Brendan Corbett, the EASON Group Head of Marketing. Brendan, will you please tell us who the winner is?
So, the award for EASON Sportsbook of the Year in association with Ireland.IE is Fight or Flight, My Life, My Choices by Keith Earls. Congratulations, Keith.
I'm delighted I've won EASON Sportsbook of the Year. I'd like to thank EASON's and UnPus Irish Book Awards. There were some great men on the shortlist for the sports book, so I'm delighted to get the votes. I'd also like to thank Tommy Conlon. He was a co-writer on my book and he helped me put an unbelievable narrative to my story, and with his excellent writing, I'm delighted how it's turned out. So thanks a million for everyone who voted, and thanks for your support. Cheers.
That brings us to another new category, the BOOKSTATION Lifestyle Book of the Year. Well, the last 18 months or more have prompted many of us to take a close look at the way we live, at how to mind our mental health and our physical well-being. And that has been borne out in the number and quality of lifestyle books published in 2021. So much so that we've added a new category, the BOOKSTATION Lifestyle Book of the Year. And here are the nominations.
Awaken Your Power Within, Jerry Hussey. Decor Galore, Laura DeBarra. High Hopes, Making Music, Losing My Way, Learning to Live, Steve Garrigan. A Cloud Where the Birds Rise, a book about love and belonging, Michael Harding and Jacob Stack. Mindful, Dermot Whelan. Ranger 22, Lessons from the Front, Ray Goggins.
Presenting the award tonight is Manus McGill, e-commerce manager at BookStation. You're very welcome, Manus, to the awards this evening, and you might tell us who the winner is.
The winner of the BOOKSTATION Lifestyle Book of the Year is Decor Galore by Laura DeBarra.
Oh, and Laura's here with us. Laura, come on through. You are so welcome to our awards ceremony this evening. Congratulations.
Thanks.
It is lovely to see you
and to meet
you.
By the way.
Thank you so much. I made it myself.
Gorgeous.
I feel I have to say that to someone like you. This is your award. This is the absolutely gorgeous book. You, of course, the gaff goddess, the queen of SHIY, not DIY. And it just makes me think, really, people like myself, we like the idea of doing things to our home, but we're kind of clueless. What can the book help or do to help us, you know, sort of make our homes even more fabulous?
The first thing the book will do for you is understand who you are in the home. There's a lot out there.
So there's a psychology for you in this. It's not just about the jobs.
Yes.
It's about who's doing the jobs.
Yeah. Okay. It's I take people on a tour through the home to make it easier, because we're not all starting in the same place. We don't all have the same budgets. We don't all have the same home size or amount of people in the home.
Sure.
Some people just want to work with what they have. So I work the way I work in my own job, and I go room by room and I teach you how to do the min or the zhuzh or the overhaul. So there's something in there for everybody. I think a lot of kind of home books and styling books talk about how to style your home for a photograph, whereas this is talking about how to style your home for your life and who you are and maybe a little bit of who you want to be. Do you want to be on time? Like, let's decorate around that. Like getting you out the door smoother in the morning. Would you like to wear some clothes more often, etc.? There's even like how to do your wardrobe. Like there's everything in there.
Wow. Well, no wonder your many thousands of followers on all your social media channels adores what you have to say. We're thrilled to have you here. We're delighted you're the winner of this first time you've had this category. So take the book, take the award, and off you go with our congratulations ringing in your ear. Well done.
Thanks a million.
Now we move on to another new category, the DUBRAY Biography of the Year. And up until now, biographies have been included under non-fiction. But this year, and I'm not sure what it says about the times or the desire to pen personal stories, many first-time authors, the sheer number of wonderful biographies published has led to the creation of this whole new category. And it's such a diverse collection of biographies. Here are the nominations.
Belonging, a memoir of place, beginnings and one woman's search for truth and justice for the Tuam babies. Catherine Corliss with Naomi Linehan. Did You Hear Mammy Died? Seamus O'Reilly. Gas Man, Colin Black. Boy 11963, an Irish industrial school childhood and an extraordinary search for home. John Cameron with Catherine Rogers. Open Hearted, Anne Ingle. Rememberings, Sinead O'Connor.
Presenting the award tonight is the General Manager of DUBRAY Books, Maria Dickinson. Maria, please tell us who your first ever winner is.
And the award for the DUBRAY Biography of the Year goes to Did You Hear Mammy Died? By Seamus O'Reilly.
Thank you so much for this award. I'm absolutely astounded and stunned. I'd like to thank the awards themselves and also everyone who voted. It's been a continuing amazement that so many people have read the book and liked it. So I do not take that for granted. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank my adoring wife and very patient son who've had to sit through me getting to the final point of this book, and also my family who've had to have an awful lot of their stories told, and who've been so generous and lovely about that. But most of all to my dad, to whom I owe so much, and without him this book would not be possible. So this is for him. Thank you so much.
The next award is the ODGERS BERNDTSON Non-Fiction Book of the Year. Now, non-fiction writers, of course, deal with facts and real events, but the best of them succeed in taking that research and turning their books into powerful page turners. This is always a highly competitive category. So let's find out who wins tonight. Here are the nominations.
A State of Emergency, Richard Chambers. Between Two Hells, Diarmuid Ferriter. 4 Years in the Cauldron, Brian O'Donovan. Northern Protestants, On Shifting Ground, Susan McKay. The Best Catholics in the World, Derek Scally. We Don't Know Ourselves, A Personal History of Ireland Since 1958, Fintan O'Toole.
Now I have the all-important envelope here. I'm just going to open it up and find out who the winner of this category is. And the winner of the ODGERS BERNDTSON Non-Fiction Book of the Year is Fintan O'Toole with We Don't Know Ourselves. And Fintan's here with us this evening. Fintan, come on through. Congratulations,
Thank
Fintan.
you.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Oh, it's just lovely to be here. What a great honour it is. What a fantastic shortlist, you know, and just to be on that shortlist is an honour, and all those people have been robbed.
I know, I always think with this particular category, the amount of work and toil that's gone into each and every title, you know, they really all deserve such credit and acclamation, you know. Yeah, you know,
it's a different kind of business from pure creative writing, I suppose,
Yeah.
in that, as you say, you have to do the research.
Yeah, the hard work. There's no way short way around it.
And you know, there's a great boom in Irish creative writing at the moment, but
Yes.
I think it's also been a fantastic period for non-fiction writing. I think the thing of writing a book like this, as opposed to, say, a book a historian would write, historians know how it turns out, right?
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
and they're shaping their story by, you know, what comes after.
Yeah.
Whereas what I was trying to do really was to like, what did it feel like at the time when we don't know?
Yeah.
When this process, which is a very strange, radical estrangement from everything that people thought they knew about Ireland, really, but at the time I was born, you know, to look at where it is now. And so we didn't, it was very uncertain, and it's not like a straight line from, you know, here's old Ireland, here's new Ireland. I've had the privilege of writing about the place, you know, for longer than most people would care to remember, you know, and so I've written a lot, I've thought a lot about it, but also I've lived in the place. And I suppose the thing I haven't done before is bring my own life into it, my own family into it. Just those stories. And there's nothing remarkable about my family or my life or, you know, any of that. Everybody could tell the same kind of story.
Not everybody's father was a bus driver who met Muhammad Ali. Come on. You know, that's kind of one of the standout stories in the book. I know people keep saying it to you. It's a gorgeous story.
And I served mass for John Charles McQuaid. But yeah, I mean, my dad, like, it was just, but it was very Irish, wasn't it?
Yes.
That kind of thing.
It felt like it could happen.
Maybe not exactly that sort of thing, but, you know, my dad was a boxer in his youth, you know, and his heroes were boxers, you know. That's what he absolutely loved. And of course, Muhammad Ali was just stunning. He was also incredibly beautiful. You know, I remember hearing my father use the word beautiful about a man, you know. And of course, that was like so taboo, but you couldn't nod about it.
But he was the
know.
one person you were allowed to say it about. Maybe JFK,
exactly.
maybe JFK.
And he had this charisma. And then, of course, all the politics, the courageous politics with the Vietnam War, and Black Power, all that stuff, you know. So my father just absolutely adored him. So my dad was a bus conductor, and they were on the bus going up into the Dublin Mountains, you know, early in the morning. First bus out, and you know, and they see these big, tall, black men running, and of course nobody ran in Ireland either. You know, that alone was exotic, right? You know, in these
what's this jogging thing, you know, they're doing?
Running up the hill, you know, and they stop the bus, and it's Muhammad Ali and his entourage, you know, who get on the bus, and he starts joking. He's no money to pay the fares. Oh, don't worry, we let you off, you know. And can you imagine the passengers? Like, you know, I think there were like 5 or 6 sleepy passengers, like. You know? And then, you know, and he chatted away to them, and then he said, "We'll take you back to your hotel." No, I've got to do this, man. You know, I've got a fight coming up. I got to keep running, you know. So he gets off, and my dad, I've never seen him, you know, just glowing, you know, for days and days and days afterwards. Just
but his experience completely reflects what every Irish man felt about Muhammad Ali at the time. Listen, Fintan, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Huge congratulations on a really impressive book that's, you know, adding to all of our bookshelves. And just take the award with you now, and off you go and celebrate. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Now we come to another new category, the Unpussed Bookshop of the Year. And booksellers performed heroically during lockdown, offering online, click and collect, and sometimes even hand-delivering books to their grateful customers. And 15 shops were long-listed for this award. Just 5 were chosen for the shortlist, so let's take a look at those nominations.
Kenny's Bookshop and Art Gallery, Galway. Care's Bookshop, Clonakilty. Little Acorns Bookstore, Derry. Maynooth Bookshop, Maynooth. The Company of Books, Dublin.
Presenting the award is Avian Evanston from Unpussed Commerce. Avian, you're very welcome to the awards here this evening. I gather you have the all-important envelope there in your hand.
I do indeed. Very exciting, and delighted to be here this evening, and delighted to support this new award at the Unpussed Book Awards.
Great.
So, without further ado, the winner of this year's Unpussed Irish Bookshop of the Year is Kenny's Bookshop and Art Gallery, Galway.
Oh, congratulations! And we have 2 people who have made it all the way from Kenny's to join us this evening. You're both so welcome here this evening. I mean, I must start by saying there is something about Kenny's. You have such affection in the place of the heart, really, of Irish readers. What is it about Kenny's, do you think, that has sort of sprung that affection amongst readers?
Well, I think predominantly we're 81 years in business this year. It was our grandmother and our grandfather who started it. They had 6 kids, 5 of whom went into the business and still work in the business.
My goodness.
And we're part of the 3rd generation who are in the business. And we all love books, we love each other, and I think that really kind of, the real draw we have for Irish literature and Irish culture, you know, comes through in the bookshop, and that's maybe what people like.
All of our generation of cousins, we all worked in the bookshop at some point or other, Saturdays or summers or Christmas holidays, and it's just kind of innate in everybody, and it's you know, it's a passion that we all have, and the family business definitely gives you more of a drive and more of, you know, a passion day to day in what you're doing. So we all love it. So thankfully.
What a lovely family business, you know, to impart when you think of the other options. But seriously though, with COVID, of course, it has changed everything in your industry. I mean, so much of the magic of Kenny's was going there, you know, was being there. But you've been so successful online. Tell us a little bit about how your working lives have changed during the pandemic.
Well, I suppose we're no stranger to change, and that was always the big thing about the business. We were the second bookshop in the world online. We moved.
I remember that, and people thought you'd gone a bit mad.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I think, you know, they weren't alone. And when COVID struck, the entire company changed and shifted towards totally online. And we were really lucky that our customers and publishers and distributors went with us, and we got through it, you know, very well.
Okay, well, listen, huge congratulations to you. It's just a wonderful part of the reader's landscape for us here in Ireland. Thank you so much for all your hard work, and thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thanks. Next up is the Journal.IE Best Irish Published Book of the Year. The publishing process is complex. It's not only about content, about words on the page, although of course it is primarily about that. But it's also about the genius of the publishing apparatus that brings words and concepts into the miracle of the finished book. Design, cover art, illustrations, paper, font, promotional excellence. These are the features that this award aims to reward. So here are the worthy nominations.
Corpsing, My Body and Other Horror Shows, Sophie White. Look, It's a Woman Writer, Eilish Ní Dhuibhne. Tea for One, Alice Taylor, with photographs by Emma Byrne. The Coastal Atlas of Ireland, Robert Devoy, Val Cummins, Barry Brunt, Darius Bartlett and Sarah Candrott. The President's Letters, An Unexpected History of Ireland, Flor McCarthy. Tree Dogs, Banshee Fingers and Other Irish Words for Nature, Monaghan McGann, illustrated by Steve Dugan. Unsettled, Rosaline McDonough.
Presenting the award is the Managing Editor of Journal Media, Susan Daly. You're very welcome, Susan, to us this evening. Can you tell us who your winner is?
And the award goes to the huge work that is the Coastal Atlas of Ireland by Robert Devoy, Val Cummins, Barry Brunt, Darius Bartlett and Sarah Candrott. Congratulations.
Wow,
we did it.
Wonderful.
We did it.
Great.
We did it.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Fantastic. Excellent news. We're delighted, I think.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. Brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Oh, yeah. And against such competition as well.
Yes. Yes, it's been a great year for books. And given the year that's been in it, it's a great year for books. So it's great news.
On Chéad Gradamela, the next award is the Love Leabhar GAEILGE Irish Language Book of the Year, which celebrates the central role the Irish language plays in the life of the nation and in Irish publishing. So here are the nominations.
An Cheara Rua agus na Hillán san Leo Hísh Déag, Áine ní Choníle. Inni, Railtán ní Leanán. Madame Lazar, Taig mac Chonagán. Rain the Vahach, Colm ó Cealacháin. May Subhne, Fergal ó Bara.
Presenting the award now is Ambassador le Love Leabhar GAEILGE Blánad ní Chuffí. Kate Mil Fáilte Blánad, Chodáú Eicáil an Seán Ranóna agus an Gradam seo agat. Inis dún beag an faoin an dús seo stocha.
Well, tan dús seo fíorthábhachtach mar an nora bhí measc an do chreite ach bhí sé níos measc sósam léana ó híomh ábhairthe agus stochaí maiall bhí se chahaisteach an or mar ó bachistan an dógar me an búirteoir an nora. Ach nar a dógar me an búirte bhí me chosásta matana mar ar an scríbne bhí me grú ómach go le bhríd ach ní raon den is gisnach ní ránach me héin agus ní raon crack an ná eile. So mar sin tá sé ionta fan seo go háir a slíb se a seo háint le chéalach ar háint le chéile. Tá sé ionta fan seo tá sé ionta go bhfuil an búirteoir an seo.
Yes, agus an clúteach le tábhachtach agat an sin. You've got the envelope there. Can you open it there without breaking a nail for us?
Brought out breaking a nail on my nerves. Agus tá sé go deas font bra mór. Okay, the winner on Búirteoir the Love Leabhar GAEILGE Irish Language Book of the Year war Oria ag Forras na Gaeilge on Búirteoir im Léana ná Madame Lazar Taig mac Donegal.
Oh, cúla bus Taig. Agus tá sé lin am Ranóna Taig Kate Mil Fáilte Stach leat. you are so welcome to Codasu Ekval and Shogus Brannick Shin and Douche.
Oh, well, it's just my love again now. It's just my love.
The category Shin Hortualia lot.
Go hauling.
Listen, I Guinness doing for Lar Shogs and Gail Show is there in a Bert Manoff, Simul Show. You know, a Levana, Shan Moher, Hannah. Inish doing Biogon for Gail Shogs and Fogger has to go to Scale Show ancient.
Well, a scale of Marijerto for Vertwan and Van Ogsha Levana, a Togo in a Gudach, a Boris, Agus, a Shanwaher, a Hogi. Agus an tuiscin sa bhí ag Levana ó bhí si an óg. Ná go más tuiscint na hórapa dá Shanwaher, gur heisi ón a natsithe, am siar an chogha, gur mari of gach ein duine a bhain léthe sa goga, agus gur tháinig si hen slán, agus nachró si gire a bheithe caintsfuoi. Ach an nire is sail, Airion an chan van maram lazar, ein si cinál scapi na hinten, agus tusian cinál blúriola se tachtwaihe, a hugun de fista Levana gohfuil gachród atá inchte ag an chan van de fuina hoige bregach.
Agus cloisian na seo, na cloisian, like bhfuil legan bháin de sail ag na póistí mar hampla, agus an sin Point macul scéil go homlan zifriúil ag Sean Mór nó mar sinnte. Is rud a hórlín nach dórlín.
Se achas dó gur legan soch dramatúil gun scéile atá gceist an seo. Ach is dó gur leabhar faoi chuirsaí cuimhne nó rudaí a cuimhníon daoine ortha nó rudaí nachhfuil daoine géirí bheithe cuimhnú orthú. Agus an chuí go dagan rudaí a níor ó chúl na cuimhne uaireanta i ngconas do dhaoine agus uaireanta in aineoin go ddíireachtaí rudaí a chuineáil faoi chois.
Well, listen, han sé le daoine mar tá dúise go tan isis, so a ráile leis an dúise agus cóchóir agus mór bhain go léir a socht an dúise a bhuachant. Agus pláánad gur míle agus gúlilinn agus bhelinn amhranóna. Now we come to the Listow Writers' Week Poem of the Year, and in difficult times we turn to poetry for consolation and inspiration. And when Seamus Heaney tells us to walk on air against your better judgment, we are persuaded that anything is possible. 4 fine poets, light on their metrical feet, have taken Seamus's words to heart. So here are the nominations.
Longboat at Portaferry, Siobhan Campbell, Glissando, Noel King. Driftwood, Karen J. MacDonald. Sestina for the daring young man on the flying trapeze, Michael Norton Shanks.
And I'm delighted to be the person to get to announce the winner of this all-important category. I have the envelope here. And the winner of the Listow Writers' Week Poem of the Year is Siobhan Campbell with her poem Longboat at Portaferry. Well done, Siobhan. Come and join us. Now, Siobhan, poetry is one of those things we think of you toiling away by yourself in a room, and I know that you're so close and so impressed by the other nominees on this list. It means so much to you to win this award.
It really does, I have to say. I mean, it's quite a shock, actually. I mean, no, the other nominees and myself, as you know, we were chosen by Ian Macmillan, I presume from a huge entry to the Listow Writers' Week Award. And I mean, Karen J. MacDonald's poem, Noel King's poem, Michael Norton Shanks' poems, they're just gorgeous, you know. So I was just thrilled to be in that company, but I'm even more thrilled to win.
Always, always. But I want to talk to you about this poem in particular, because to get this recognition for it must be very sweet because of the genesis of this poem, because it was part of a collaboration with other artists and community people around, say, Portaferry and other little villages. What the council have done is they've invited people like yourself to contribute an artwork to celebrate the area. So there's going to be different poems in different places around the area.
Exactly. And you'll be able to follow a particular route around the peninsula. You probably need a car, though.
A poetry map just sounds beautiful.
Might take a while.
And it sounds very lockdown friendly. That's one for the list, all right. Now, your poem then, of course, Longboat at Portaferry, describes the scene at the harbour there. There's a real sense of longing there. There's one line in particular I love. I can see us some springtime, both newcomer and native, bathed in the light of the ferry at sunrise. And I just feel I can see it. I feel like I've been there. Tell me a little bit about what the harbour means to you, how it inspires you as a poet.
Well, it's a wonderful view from any place along that harbour. I mean, as I say, you can see the moorings, you can see out to the sea and further on, so you can feel the vista is opening up in front of you. Your horizons are getting bigger as you look, you know.
What's next for you, Siobhan, as a poet? Where's your work taking you at the moment?
Well, I'm working up to my 5th book, fingers crossed, and I think it's going to focus on folklore of flora and fauna. In a way, this poem may be the beginning of that whole sequence. Who knows?
Well, you're now the award-winning poet. You can put that on the cover, which is great.
Thank you very much.
So why don't you take your award away? You write a little ode to it. And hopefully, yes, it is indeed. And we're very impressive around here with our heavy awards. Maybe we'll see you again in the years to come with another collection under your arm. But for today, thank you so much, Yvonne, for joining us, and huge congratulations. Next up is the Writing.IE Short Story of the Year. The great William Trevor called the short story The Art of the Glimpse, and each of these shortlisted writers has given us marvellous glimpses into their fictional worlds. So here are the nominations.
The Leaving Place, Jan Carson. Worms, Roddy Doyle. Blackthorn, Bernard McLaverty. The Wake, Alan Murran. Coming In on Time, Stuart Neville. Little Lives, Deirdre Sullivan.
Presenting the Writing.IE Short Story of the Year tonight is founder of Writing.IE, Vanessa Fox O'Loughlin, a very good friend of us here at the awards. It's lovely to see you, Vanessa. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much.
Not at all. And you've got the all-important envelope there.
I have indeed.
You might share the winner with us, Vanessa, please.
Let's see who it is. And the winner of the Writing.IE Short Story of the Year is Little Lives by Deirdre Sullivan.
Well done, Deirdre. Come on in and join us, Deirdre. Hello. Listen, come take a chair. Wow. We are old friends of yours at the awards at this point. You've been with us before at Savage or Reply, amongst others, and here you are with Short Story winner.
Yeah, I'm delighted. My goodness.
Now, the story itself, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I read it and I'm haunted by it. It's devastating. Little Lives it's a stunning story. It's heartbreaking. I've been just consumed by it really since I read it. What was it first about the image of these haunted broken dolls that the mother in the story trades in? What was it about that sort of image that inspired you really to create this story?
There's something uncanny about dolls. You know, they're shaped like us, but they aren't us. And that kind of hollow and that sense of something being, like not being sure what's inside you yet. And I thought it resonated really well with adolescence. You know, there's so much unspoken and unformed, and you're deciding what kind of person you're going to be. And when I wrote it, I had kind of two things in mind. There's a short story by a writer I love called Shirley Jackson, not Alone in Loving Her, she's amazing, called Jack the Ripper, where there's just this one line that's kind of devastating and leaves a question mark. And I loved that sense of the unspoken. And I had this image of like just a metronome kind of just repeatedly ticking, if that makes sense.
What I find intriguing about you is when I meet you, you're so soft-spoken and so gentle, and your writing is so dark and tough. You know, you challenge the reader, don't you? You go into the depths of yourself to produce this work, I think.
Yes, yeah, I do. I write to ask questions that I can't answer. And I think that's why, like, I don't really traffic in happy endings. I can traffic in hopeful endings, you know, but it's never wrapped up in a bow, because I feel like if I knew the answer, I wouldn't have begun writing the story, if that makes sense.
It's so exciting to watch your writing voice emerge. It really is a develop, and I know we'll see you here again, and we certainly will see you here again. So for this evening, take your award, off you go and celebrate, and huge congratulations. Thank you, Deirdre.
It's very exciting.
At this point in the evening, we pause to remember friends in the Irish literary community who passed away in the last year. Go míocha anam yesh day. Next up is Teen and Young Adult Novel of the Year, and we live in what's been called a golden age of young adult fiction, and Irish writers are right there in the vanguard of that movement. So here are this year's nominations.
Baby Teeth, Meg Grehan. Not My Problem, Ciara Smith. Hanny and Issues Guide to Fake Dating, Adiba Jagirdar. The Legend of Valentine's Sorrow, Caroline Busher. The New Girl, Sinead Moriarty. What Love Looks Like, Charlotte Gregory.
Presenting the award tonight is Dr. Marion Therese Keys. We're delighted to have you join us here this evening. You might tell us who's the winner of this award.
Thank you very much, Evelyn. And I'd just like to congratulate all the shortlisted winners, or the shortlisted...
What a list.
What a list this year. Really enjoyed reading them all.
Yes.
And I am excited to announce that the winner of the Teen Young Adult Novel of the Year is The New Girl by Sinead Moriarty.
Oh, super. Sinead, come on in. Well done. Pull up a queue, as they say. Sinead, you are no stranger to us here at the Irish Book Awards, but a new category for you, writing for teens and young adults.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that move for you.
It's a whole new world.
Well, it's
and
obviously
I'm
a successful
well,
one. Here we go.
Very excited. Thank you so much. I'm really chuffed. This is, it's a whole new world. I felt very compelled to write something about the Syrian refugee crisis. Originally, I was trying to figure out how to do it in an adult form, and then I just thought, no, the voice was the voice of a child. And so I decided to write a children's book. And my own 3 kids were really involved. They helped me edit it, told me to take out the boring bits. And
kids are great editors, aren't they?
They're direct, which is good.
No flowers and champagne, just straight to it.
Straight to it. But it's been lovely. I've had the most amazing experience. I've met an amazing Syrian family who've become very, very close friends. I worked with the Refugee Council, and I've learned a lot and had the most amazing experience writing this book. It's been a labour of passion. It's taken me 5 years to get it to this place. So I am really, really excited that kids are getting to read it. A lot of teachers in primary schools are reading to their class, and it's opening up these amazing discussions about refugees and being an outsider and trying to fit in. And really what I'm trying to do with this book is promote compassion and to teach kids the power of words. The power of a kind word and the power of a cruel word. And the only way, really, for kids to understand the lives of others is to walk a mile in somebody else's shoes. And that's what I'm trying to do with The New Girl. So,
Of course, you're proud of all your novels, but I know this has a particular place in your heart.
It does.
And this is real affirmation for that work and that imagination and bringing that story to readers. So well done. I'm sure we'll see you back again in your regular category again. But really huge hearty congratulations. Thank you so much, Marion, for joining us this evening. Off you go and party now. Well done. Encouraging the reading habit in our children's lives is among the greatest gifts we can give them. And where better to start than with some of the marvellous books on the shortlists for the Specsavers Children's Book of the Year. First, we have the junior category, and here are the nominations.
A Hug for You, David King, illustrated by Rhiannon Archard. Evie's Christmas Wishes, Siobhan Parkinson, illustrated by Shannon Bergen. Maybe, Chris Horton. Puffling and the Egg, Erica McGann and Jerry Daly. There's a Ghost in This House, Oliver Jeffers. Up on the Mountain, Peter Donnelly.
Presenting the Specsavers Children's Book of the Year Junior tonight is Carol Hickey, Chairman of Specsavers Ireland. Welcome, Carol. Tell us your winner, please.
And the award for the Specsavers Children's Book of the Year in the junior category goes to A Hug for You by David King and illustrated by Rhiannon Archard. Congratulations, David and Rhiannon.
Congratulations, Dad. Our book just won Irish Junior Children's Book of the Year.
Thanks so much, Adam. Thank you so much. Give me a hug. I can think of no one else that I would be happier to get this award from than you. Thank you so much. And thank you for allowing me to tell your story to everyone. You're amazing. Thanks a million. Folks, this is just absolutely unbelievable. I'm really struggling to know what to say.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for voting. I'm absolutely blown away. There were so many beautiful books in the category, and I'm amazed that A Hug for You won. But obviously not surprised because Adam is a complete superstar.
Thank you so much to all of you. You've no idea how much this means to me, to my family, and to me personally. And I'm going to treasure this for the rest of my life. Thank you. What do we say?
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Carol is on hand to announce our next award, the Specsavers Children's Book of the Year Senior category. And the nominees in this category are
Aldrin Adams and the Cheese Nightmares, Paul Howard, illustrated by Lee Cosgrove. Lily's Dream, a Lissa Dell story, Judy Curtin, illustrated by Rachel Corcoran. Mr. Spice Bag, Freddie Alexander, illustrated by Helen O'Higgins. The Summer I Robbed a Bank, David O'Doherty, illustrated by Chris Judge. The Little Bee Charmer of Henrietta Street, Sarah Webb, illustrated by Rachel Corcoran. The Shadows of Rookhaven, Pádraig Kenny, illustrated by Edward Bettison.
Carol, will you please tell us the winner?
And the award for the Specsavers Children's Book of the Year for the senior category goes to The Summer I Robbed a Bank by David O'Doherty and illustrated by Chris Judge. Congratulations, David and Chris.
Wow, thank you so much. We're so thrilled to win this award. I can't believe it. This is such a special book for me. It was the project I worked on at the start of lockdown, so it really helped me through that tough period. I'd like to thank David for having me back on board. Always such a joy working with him, and thank you to him for writing such a amazing, gorgeous, poignant, funny book. You know, it's get your hands on it. It's just brilliant.
I'm thrilled to say David's here with us. Come on through, David. Come.
Thank you so much,
Come
Evelyn.
to our Book Awards throne here.
Oh my goodness.
Listen, David, you're the busiest man. You're a stand-up comic, you're a presenter, you're a failed jazz musician,
Yes.
a podcaster, a cyclist. You've got it all going on. Where do the books then fit in this world for you? Because, all joking aside, this book is a gorgeous book, but it's got tough themes in it, it's got darkness in it. So what does the book allow you to do?
I mean, I've been writing for kids longer than I've been doing stand-up, so it's always been something that I just think a lot about. There were a few times when I was a kid where I stayed up so late reading a book that I got a knock on the door where they saw the light was on in my room.
We know what you're up to. Turn the light
Yeah.
off. Time to go to sleep. Yeah.
And all I want is to try and write a book that someone will get a knock on the door one day and be told, turn your light off, it's 10:30, you've got school in the morning.
Well, we had that in our house with Dangerology, of course, which is such a beloved book. But I want to talk to you about The Summer I Robbed a Bank, right? Because I asked my 10-year-old to review it, and I said, you know, I'm meeting David, hopefully. And what did you think of the book? And he said, it's happy and sad. And I thought, I can't beat that. That's an excellent description of it. Like, you challenge your young readers. You want to challenge them.
Yeah, there's a period when you're 11 or 12 and you realize for the first time the world's a lot more complicated than maybe you had imagined. You start to realize maybe my parents don't know everything and maybe my teachers are idiots, and it can be quite a complicated time. So I wanted to write a book about that period. And then I also wanted to write a book about a bank robbery. My granny lived on Achill Island, so my brother and I...
Well, you've been podcasting from there throughout lockdown.
Yeah.
You know, Achill means something to you.
Yeah, it does. And we were obsessed with trying to rob the travelling bank, which drives around. From at the age of 5 onwards, my brother and I, about half the time in Achill, would just be plotting about how we would do a robbery of it. So, and then the third element of the book was, I lost one of my best friends a few years ago, Stephen, who the book's dedicated to, and I wanted to write a book that captured his spirit. He never robbed a bank, but there's a character in there.
This is the actor Stephen Swift.
Yeah, who just has faced up to death in just such an honest and beautiful way, and informing kids about that too. So that was all part of the book. And I'm, you know, it's such a solitary thing, writing a book. And with the 18 months that we've all been through, it's so nice that kids have reacted to it and have voted for it. And it's so nice it means so much to get the award.
In the meantime, David, take your award, go ring Chris, tell him that you've both won it, and hopefully we'll see you back at the awards again. But for now, huge congratulations. We come now to the Bob Hughes Lifetime Achievement Award, which honours the true greats of Irish literature. The writer who receives this award will join the Hall of Fame of great Irish writers, household names like Heaney, McGahern, O'Brien and Binchy, whose distinguished bodies of work have left an indelible mark on the culture. Well, this year's recipient is Sebastian Barry, who unfortunately cannot be with us this evening. But first we bring you a tribute video featuring a number of close friends and associates of Sebastian.
I can't tell you how pleased I am that we are finally honouring Sebastian Barry. He has been a support and a champion to so many other writers. In my very first conversation with him, Sebastian told me to give up the day job, to the horror of my mother. His rationale was that you can't improve unless you work at it every day. And he's right. His wise advice and his brilliant tenancy of the fiction laureateship, bringing literature out to the communities, was inspired and inspiring.
He's a giant. I mean, he's our second laureate for Irish fiction.
He was an exceptional laureate for Irish fiction.
The laureate always delivers three lectures, one every year. The imagination and the creativity and the personal experience that he brought to all three of those lectures, and standing ovation, and it was just fabulous to see him in that role, because I think he is a little bit of a frustrated actor in some ways too.
He met people who, due to personal circumstances, were no longer in a position to engage with life and society as they once did. For example, within hospitals or within prisons, within direct provision, and also with people who find themselves in homeless situations. He absolutely shone, and I think that is because he has this wonderful ability of finding common ground.
During the course of the laureateship, he wrote 1,000 Moons. Like, that was, during his time being so busy and doing all those from the perspective of a Native American woman, Winona. He has a lot of great women in his life, His wife, Alison, is just an amazing person, and his daughters as well, just, fantastic. So I think they give him a lot
strong women.
Strong women, clear-eyed women. Yeah. So I don't think he'd get away with writing women badly in his house, actually, is the thing.
No.
One of the great joys and privileges of my life has been working with Sebastian. It's been 6, now 7 novels, and I hope there will be a few more to come yet. And editing his work is always fascinating. He spends a long time feeling out the first chapter, sending me various versions of it. And then once he's settled on that, and feels like he has the voice exactly right tonally, he'll go silent for 8 to 12 weeks, at the end of which a full manuscript will arrive. Written straight through, no jumping in or out of the chronology or agonising over sections or what goes where. What a thing as an editor to receive and then work on.
I think he sort of allows the reader as artist. When you're reading Sebastian Barry, you really do feel I'm putting this story together. 6 or 8 years ago, it had been a period of a couple of years where I just wasn't in love with reading anymore, and I started to read this book, The Temporary Gentleman, and it was just pow, it just came back. I just realised in the opening couple of pages of that book what's possible in the language. And the fantastical suck of the sinking ship drew me down, as if 100 demons were yanking on my legs. Down, down we went, our handsome troop ship made in Belfast. The loose bodies of the already drowned, the myriad papers and plans for war, the tins of sardines we had taken in Algiers. And I felt the water all around, as if I were in the body of a physical creature, as if this were its blood, and the scientifically explainable forces at work were its sinews and muscles. And I can remember just reading that thinking, wow, I'm back, as a reader. It was quite moving. I felt that he'd given me something back. The writing is just vividness, life, colour, breadth, depth, zest. He's the rock and the roll. I mean, he's the country and the western. Like, the moments of extraordinary subtlety and grace and beauty.
His novels manage to somehow feel both otherworldly and deeply familiar, ancient and yet totally relevant to now.
He's a master.
Very special man. He's a very special writer, and he should be loved and treasured and honoured, and that's why I'm delighted that he's receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award.
One last thing. How can you not love a giant of letters whose favourite TV show is RuPaul's Drag Race? I mean, come on.
A richly deserved and heartfelt tribute, I'm sure you will agree. So now let's hear from Sebastian himself.
Thank you so much for this beautiful award. For 40 years I have been the grateful citizen of a properly mysterious village called the Irish book trade. You are all wonderful, dedicated, unusual people. I salute your alchemy and your startling powers. An award like this makes a writer feel that their efforts over the many years have been worth the candle, those boxes and boxes of candles burnt at both ends. That's a joyous feeling, the best feeling. I am so sorry I can't be with you to raise a glass. There is the pull of admiration and shared sense of purpose, so it's sad for me not to be there. Writing, publishing, bookselling is always on a sort of benign war footing. In the best 60s tradition, the bullets are flowers, which engenders a great sense of comradeship. As laureate for Irish fiction in the last 3 years, and as the pandemic roared, closing bookshops, forcing them to reimagine themselves online, I newly gained a much more urgent sense of their importance to writers and readers, their gallantry, their devotion and inventiveness. Every bookshop that closes is a point of darkness on the elemental map. Every bookshop that opens is a brave, bright light. This is all to say I am so grateful for this award. Yes, I have been working away for 40 odd years and have experienced both setbacks and unexpected days when manna seemed to fall from the heavens. My agents, Derek Johns and Natasha Fairweather, have both armed me and had my back. I don't know if this all adds up to achievement on my part as such, because only time is the judge of that. But it has certainly added up to a huge adventure. Thank you, Irish Book Awards. Truly, thank you, the committees, the judges, the citizen armies of the Irish Book Awards, and thank you all gathered tonight for both simply existing and, most importantly, persisting.
Well, fill your glasses now because the awards are coming thick and fast. And next up is the Irish Independent Crime Fiction Book of the Year. Now, the great English writer P.D. James once said that crime fiction confirms our belief that despite some evidence to the contrary, that we live in a rational and moral universe. And perhaps that explains why, in an age of increasing uncertainty, the crime genre remains so immensely popular with readers, particularly here in Ireland, where Emerald Noir, the genre, is thriving like never before. So let's take a look at this year's nominations.
"56 Days, Catherine Ryan Howard. All Her Fault, Andrea Mara. April in Spain, John Banville. The Dark Room, Sam Blake. The Devil's Advocate, Steve Kavanagh. The Killing Kind, Jane Casey.
Presenting the Irish Independent Crime Fiction Book of the Year tonight is John Smith, editor of the review at the Irish Independent. John, you're very welcome to the awards here this evening. You might tell us who the winner is of this category.
Thanks, Evelyn. It's been a standout year for Irish crime fiction, and the winner of the Irish Independent Crime Fiction Book of the Year is 56 Days by Catherine Ryan Howard.
Oh, Catherine, come on through. Congratulations, come join us.
Thank you so much, thank you.
I joke a lot with crime fiction writers that award would make a great murder implement because it's good and heavy and sharp.
I'm not sure. Is it sharp though? I think it could be a bit more pointy, but also it would be very easily traced back to me now.
You're an expert already. You must tell us a little bit about this book, because I think I remember meeting you last year at the Shortlist, and you told me that, you know, you'd already written a book set in COVID, and I went home just blown away by that, and this was that book.
Yeah.
What was it about COVID that, you know, it sparked something creative in you? Because the rest of us were overwhelmed by it. You saw it as an opportunity.
Well, what happened was I was writing a different book, and it was about a shooting in a nightclub, crowded people, international travel. And overnight, that just was suddenly science fiction. And we were in lockdown. I still had a book to deliver. And for years, I'd had this very vague idea about a couple who meet and fall in love, but all is not what it seems. But I had no plot to go with it. And then when lockdown came in, I thought, hang on a second, there's the plot. And now I have a book idea again. So I got going on it. I didn't even tell my publishers what I was doing to begin with. And I think we all felt, look, this is either going to be the biggest mistake she ever makes, or something good is going to come out of 2020. So luckily, it seems like it was the latter.
So what is it about that locked room scenario, that kind of mystery idea, that was so, I suppose, such rich territory for you as a writer?
Well, I was locked down in central Dublin, like Trinity and Stephen's Green were part of my 2 kilometres. And I really, you know, was walking around the city and thinking, like, anything could be happening. Like, I could be up to anything and my mother wouldn't know, was what I was frankly thinking.
There's a book right there. That's your next book.
That's basically
what my mother didn't know.
But I just thought, you know, there had to be things going on behind closed doors.
Sure.
These are a couple who meet, and we all tell a few white lies at the beginning of a relationship, but in this instance there's no one to contradict anything they're saying. They're not at work, there's no colleagues, there's no friends to be introduced to, their families don't even know they're together, and for a crime writer you just couldn't get a better setting than that.
So they go into lockdown together?
Yeah, after only knowing each other for about 3 weeks.
Now, you've been nominated before for this award, but this is the first time you're the winner. You know, you get to take the award home with you. I know this means a lot to you, doesn't it?
It does. This is the first thing I've won since the 1991 Munster Disco Dancing Championship, aged 8 and under category. So big night for me.
You're such a bragger. You're such a bragger.
30 years with no win. Like, people always like, I never win anything. I literally never win anything. This is really special because it is in part decided by the public. So it really feels like, you know, kind of validation from readers that they enjoyed this book. And honestly, I'm just so grateful that anyone reads it in the first place and that I get to do my dream job. But I will say winning is a lot more fun than not winning.
That's a fair point. Now we come to the EASON Novel of the Year, and tonight the winner will join an illustrious group of past winners. That includes John Banville, Anne Enright, Emma Donoghue and Joseph O'Connor. Featuring novels satirical, historical and stunningly contemporary, this year's shortlist illustrates the massive strength and depth of Irish literary fiction. So let's take a look at the nominations.
Beautiful World, Where Are You? Sally Rooney. Panenka, Ronan Hession. Small Things Like These, Claire Keegan. The Echo Chamber, John Boyne. The Magician, Colm Tóibín. White City, Kevin Power.
Presenting the award tonight is EASON Group Head of Books, Davina Milligan. Davina, your winner, please.
The EASON Novel of the Year goes to Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney.
Thank you so much. It's a real honour for me to receive this award. I'm really touched to think that people have enjoyed the new book. And I would like to say how grateful I am for the support and kindness I've received from readers and also from the writing community in Ireland, including some of my fellow nominees this evening. I want to thank my editors, Mitzi and Alex, and my agent Tracy, as well as Josh and the rest of the team at Faber. I also want to thank anyone who has taken the time to read my novel, and in particular, those who took the time to vote for it to receive this prize. It really means a lot to me. Finally, I want to thank my friends and family, and above all my husband John, without whom I couldn't possibly do the work that I do. I feel extraordinarily lucky. Thank you very much.
Next up is the National Book Token's Popular Fiction Book of the Year. Now, year after year, our popular fiction writers power the engine that drives the Irish book industry, bringing us stories of love, redemption, courage and perseverance, and often some much-needed laughs. These writers command a loyal and devoted readership and sell books in vast quantities to their fans. So where would we be without them? Well, here are the nominations.
About Us, Sinead Moriarty. Aisling and the City, Emer MacLysett and Sarah Breen. Freckles, Cecilia Hearn. Normal Sheeple, Ross O'Carroll Kelly. The Guinness Girls, A Hint of Scandal, Emily Hurricane. 3 Weddings and a Proposal, Sheila O'Flanagan.
Presenting the award this evening is Dawn Behan, proprietor of independent bookstore Woodbine Books in Kilcullen. Dawn, you're very welcome to the awards here this evening, and you have the important envelope there in your hand.
Here. Yeah.
You might tell us who the winner of this competition or category is.
The winner of the National Book Token's Popular Fiction Book of the Year is Aisling and the City by Emer MacLysett and Sarah Breen.
Excellent, I'm delighted. Ladies, here you are. Oh, jeepers. Aisling would be thrilled with you now.
She'd love the evening
having a little night out. She'd be delighted with herself. We have to start by saying, is this really the penultimate Aisling?
It is. Yeah, we've been saying that for the past. We've kind of revealed that a good while ago. We said we were doing 5 books in total, but
and
when
it's
we
set
were
in stone.
Yeah, it is. When we were promoting Aisling in the City, a lot of people were saying, "What? How could it be? How could it be?" But it is. Now, we haven't written the 5th one yet, but
we'll get there.
Yeah.
I always laugh because whenever I talk to you, you're always like about the next project. Yeah, we have to get started any day now. It's like talking to children on a Sunday night doing the homework, you know. Well, deadline's coming, it's coming. Look, we all know how successful and popular Aisling and that whole world has been, and the joy you've brought readers, and it's nearly kind of part of a dynasty now.
Oh,
how does it feel to have created that, though?
It's really nice to hear that, and you know, the popular fiction category is always so like hotly contested. And
What a
even to be-
list.
What a list!
Yeah.
And even to be mentioned with these like really established, really internationally successful authors, it's surreal. I mean, we pinch ourselves even with, like when we're nominated, and then to win this award, and then I don't know, we just get a lot of messages from people all the time who say that like one of the things that got them through lockdown was waiting for the new Aisling book, and that's so gratifying.
That was amazing,
it's so nice to hear.
And I was just saying to Sarah a week or two ago, like I wonder in, you know, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, are people still going to be picking up their Aisling books the way I would do with my Marion Keyes books or my Maeve Binchy books or any like kind of, it's kind of surreal to think that that could be happening, and we'd hope the books have that kind of longevity. Like that would be amazing.
Well, of course it will. And what I loved, and we all loved about this adventure, is you sent her to New York. You know, obviously you're trying to keep the adventures fresh and compelling. Tell me about the decision to send her to New York.
New York is, I won't call it Aisling's second home, but it's such an Aisling city.
Yes.
Like a gaggle of Aislings heading off. Like I've seen them in Terminal. I've been one.
I am them.
Yeah. I've seen them. I remember the last time I went to America a couple of years ago, seeing a group of women, and I presume were their daughters and nieces, and they all had curly blow dries. They were wearing matching T-shirts, just like the gal's big trip to New York, and I was like, oh, off they go. They're so
I remember
happy.
the women used to go with the empty bags because they do all the shopping for Christmas.
Absolutely.
Remember that?
Go to the
And they come back
outlets.
with these like
Tommy Hilfiger, Ralph Lauren.
they
all
go
the
out
big
wearing
names.
practically just a t-shirt and
Nothing
jeans.
says Christmas like a Gap hoodie. So.
And our publisher talked us out of doing the sequel, setting the sequel in New York, because they were like, look, it's too soon to kind of send her away. Like, why don't you establish her a bit more? And in hindsight, I think that was the right decision.
That was the right
down
decision.
here.
Yeah. So we did one book with her at home, one book with her in Dublin.
Yeah.
The next book she was back home again. So we were like, we can't send her back to Dublin.
Yeah.
You know, as we were kind of closing down, you know, the final chapters, I was like, the next time we do this, that'll be it forever. You know, emotional times.
Yeah, that is. I think it will be emotional, and I think bringing an end to whatever the end of her story is going to be will be emotional. We have a vague idea about what it's going to be, but like we haven't written anything.
Lots of blanks to fill in.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, look, I mean, you've done so brilliantly so far. I can't see there's going to be any problem with it. But I suppose we just want to say thank you for Aisling and for all you've done for the publishing industry. And the award is so well earned. Your readers love her. You've given such joy to readers, and that's such an important and joyous thing. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Tonight we've been privileged to see many of our finest writers rewarded for doing what they do best, enchanting readers, firing the imagination, taking our minds off real-world problems for a while. To all of you, winners and nominees, we congratulate you and wish to assure you that everyone at the Unpussed Irish Book Awards, and of course all Irish readers in general, are hugely appreciative of your talents. And remember that you at home still have an important part to play in deciding the overall Unpussed Irish Book Awards Book of the Year. To vote for your Book of the Year, log on to unpussedirishbookawards.ie. There are 6 finalists for that award, selected by the highest combined Academy and public vote so far. The 6 books will be announced at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, and voting will be open from that time. And this year's overall winner will be revealed on the Unpussed Irish Book of the Year show on RTE1 at 10:35 p.m. on the 8th of December. All voters will be entered into a prize draw to win €100 of National Book Tokens. Well, that's it from us. Thanks to everyone who helped to make tonight's event such a success, and thanks to you all at home for watching. And hopefully, we will all be back together again to celebrate the Unpussed Irish Book Awards 2022 live and in person. Ihawa Slán, see you then, and good night.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. We really are so lucky to have so many marvellous writers in this country. We have so many promising young writers. We have more women writers than ever, and we have writers representing minorities and marginalised sections of our communities. And I think this is just the beginning. I would like to congratulate all of the winners here tonight and all of the nominees in each of the categories. I'm delighted to see the return of the Unpussed Irish Book Awards Bookshop of the Year award. And as a Galway man, I'm delighted to see my old friends, the Kennys, being chosen as the winner for 2021. As David McRedmond said earlier, the pandemic brought out the best in our industry, and no truer word has ever been spoken. I believe that it has proven that bookselling is not only a job, it is a passion, it is a calling, and the Irish booksellers answered that call for their customers during the pandemic. I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight, and I look forward to being able to present you with a real live awards show for 2022.